We play 162 games. If you win 100 games, it's a good bet you're going to the playoffs.
Yep.
But that means you lost 62, right? How many games you think George Steinbrenner thought we should lose in a season? Real quick. How many you think?
0.
He never wanted you to think that it was ever okay for you to lose a game.
What's up, guys? Change the Game Baseball, episode 8. We got a lot on the plate today, a lot of fun stuff we're going to talk about here. If you didn't see last week's episode, tune into that one when you're done with this one. It's a good one. But today, me and Mr. David Justice are going to jump right into both of our favorite players in the game today, Lindor.
Yes.
Just had a very odd at bat, 3-2. I think it was his 7th or 8th in a 1-run game. He had a guy in scoring position. And he just goes into, I give up in the middle of the windup. He's ready to hit. And he just goes like Manny Ramirez or Big Papi taking a 3-0 pitch. And it's a pitch right down the middle. Strike 3. He's out. He walked back to the dugout like a zombie, like he was checked out. And then they ask him, I think somebody asked him, what does he miss about Cleveland or something like that? And his answer was just winning. He misses winning.
Yeah.
I personally love to hear it because I love to know that these players care about winning. That's I don't want to say important to me, but it matters. I like to know that these guys want to win because with all the money floating around and all that, it's easy probably to show up, do your job, go home. But I like hearing a guy misses winning, a guy wants to win. And, you know, that it's bigger than bringing guys in because I think he came to the Mets to win. They brought him. They brought the house. They paid everybody. It was like when the Dodgers just paid $1 billion. The Mets were almost like first through the door a few years ago with the Padres a little bit too, where they just started dumping money into superstars and going, this team's going to win. So very interesting. I don't know if this is something that's going to be going on for the rest of the season for Lindor, or if he's just going to go, I was in a little funk that day, or we haven't really heard an explanation. He said he couldn't see, but I'm not buying that.
Yeah. That was interesting. That was because you got 2 strikes on you. It's a full counter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he just stood up.
Yep.
Like you said, like it was a 3-0. And then to say, well, I wasn't picking up the ball or I wasn't seeing it too well, that's even more so the reason for you to try to bear down and pick up the pitch, correct? Mm-hmm. I think that Lindor needs a change of scenery. I really do. It's tough playing. Look, he came from Cleveland. And what a lot of people don't understand, because I spent 3.5 years in Cleveland. Cleveland is a great baseball city. When I played in Cleveland, you're talking about a fan base that literally we sold out, Jake, every game that I wore that Tribe uniform.
That's awesome.
Every game. And you're talking weather where we get rain. It might snow in April. It's cold. It's drizzling. Then it's humid. I mean, you get everything. And those people, they come out and support that team. Jake, I used to always say this about Cleveland Indians fans. They know everybody on the team. You could strike out with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they're not going to boo you. Oh, man, get them next time.
They want it for you as bad as you want it for you.
There's something to be said about a fan base like that. Lindor came up in that fan base.
Yeah.
See,
and he came up
in a fan base where they loved him and he loved them. In a clubhouse that they're winning. When you win, the music is always playing after the game.
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody's smiling. There's energy. Jake, I played for one losing team in my whole career, and thank God it was my rookie year. And I will tell you, it's hard coming in every day and the music is off after the game. Nobody's really talking to each other. You're getting thumped every night.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult. It's difficult on the individual. I think Lindor was blessed in that Cleveland environment. They are, look, one thing about the Mets, you can say they will put some money out to try to win now.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you can't say that they're the Oakland A's. Like, you can't say that.
It wasn't a lack of effort, that's for sure.
Definitely. You go out and get Lindor, an all-star. I mean, I got 30-30, just 30-30 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like he's fallen off like that. I think with him, it's become a situation where he probably has a lot of pressure on him because anytime you get the money, here comes the pressure from the fans, from the media, and you're in New York where it's always that constant battle between the Mets and the Yankees. It's always a comparison, right? Yankees are playing well, we're not playing well. It's constant. And you're an all-star, you're one of the guys. So it's always, they're in your locker. Hey, what's the problem? You're only hitting 210. You don't have as many home runs this year. You see, and then they're writing this stuff. And then you hear the sports talk radio. People come back tell you, man, hey, Francisco, man, they saying some bad things about you on the radio, brother. Mm-hmm. That pressure kind of gets on a player. And
they build it bigger than it might even be. 210 is a slow start for him. Of course.
Listen, we always build it. Look, man. Chuck Finley and I with Cleveland once had a conversation literally where we said we feel like every time you slumping, you think everybody in America is waking up the next day, going straight to their phone, going straight to your name, and they see you sucking. Mm-hmm. That's how you feel as a player. Yeah. And now you're in New York with that media. I think Lindor, if I'm Lindor, I'm praying that they trade me. Yeah. Please trade me to a team. See, because I think the only thing Lindor needs is a change of scenery. Mm-hmm. I think he's still as skilled as ever with a great smile. I think he's a great teammate. He's a skilled player. He just needs to go somewhere else. You had your time in New York, but it's time to move on, man. Go somewhere else. See if your agent can get you. And now they're 5.5 games out of the wild card. I don't think that. They're in a tough division. You're in a division with the Phillies and with the Braves. You're not catching those guys.
No.
If I'm the Mets, and then you have all the drama with the first baseman Alonso. Do we sign him? So there's a lot going on right now with the Mets, and they're not playing particularly well. Please just let me go. So trade me, get whatever you can get for me. Let me go somewhere else. Get back to winning, because I think that's the situation with Lindor is he was blessed to have been in a city, a great city like Cleveland that a lot of people don't understand, has a great fan base, that it feels like they have that hometown feel.
Yeah. And he came up there, that's all he knew.
Yeah.
He probably thought, I would imagine.
Everybody's not built for New York.
No,
everybody is not built for New York. New York is a great place to play when you're winning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of the best places to play.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're struggling and scuffling and not winning, it could be one of the toughest places to play.
Yeah.
And he's experienced it. He's experienced the booze. Now imagine, he's a great kid. Great kid, great smile. You've had all this love in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. You're an all-star. You're doing your thing.
He was good Cleveland. Good smile, the whole thing. He got the red hair. He just buys in.
Having a good time in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get shipped off to New York and now you're not winning. Mm-hmm. The fans booing you. See, a lot of guys can't handle being booed. No. That takes a different individual as well. Mm-hmm. Man, booing is hurtful.
Yep.
You see, and then that's added pressure on you.
Yeah.
You see, how do I turn these boos around?
Boos from the other crowd are nice. When it starts coming from your home crowd, that's got to be like devastating.
It's rough.
It's got to be very difficult.
So Lindor to me still is a great player. I just think that it's come a point in time now for him that he just needs a change of scenery. Sometimes all guys need is a change of scenery. Big Papi in Minnesota barely get in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
They looking at Big Papi like he can't even play.
Yep.
He gets a change of scenery, goes to the Red Sox. I'm sorry, David Ortiz in Minnesota, Big Papi in Boston. Mm-hmm. Change of scenery. Sometimes change of scenery is great for a player, as I'm throwing these cards around, is great for a player.
Yeah.
And I think it would be ideal for Lindor to get a change of scenery.
Yeah. One of my favorite players, speaking of change of scenery, look at Bellinger. Struggled with the Dodgers for the last couple of years. Goes to Chicago on a 1 year. Dominates with them again, but playing very good baseball.
And that's okay because environment is so important, man.
Yep.
The environment, comfort level, so important. Even as deep as the neighborhood you live in.
Yeah.
All of that all of that matters
Mm-hmm.
in terms of an athlete plan and having his head straight and having his focus right. All of that matters. Again, you go from Cleveland, a hometown loving crowd that supports their team and just some good people, not going to boo you. You see, and that infectious smile that Lindor had, the people loved him, right? And I bet if he had a chance to do it all over again, he probably would have tried to stay in Cleveland. But I get it, man. You get the contract with the Mets. Mets are trying to win. It's New York. I always say you can't win on a bigger level than New York. But then you get there and things don't go the way in which you wish they did. And now you're in a situation where you're taking 3-2 pitches, just standing up. That's almost a cry for a trade.
That's like
how many ways can I show you that y'all probably should get rid of me? Maybe I'll just take this third strike and then y'all be mad at me and trade me.
He's pulling the old James Harden give up on my team to get traded back in the day. Remember that?
He's
I'm out.
He's just such a good player, man. And hopefully I want him to get traded because I think he has a lot left in him. He was just 30-30 last year. I mean, the guy's got pop, great range, great defense. He can drive in runs. I mean, he's an all-star caliber player that is not playing well this year. And so if he's not playing well, he's hearing the boos. He's hearing the grumblings. The media's in his locker. Hey, man, when you going to turn it around? Well, you 0 for your last 17. Or you're 4 for your last 20. What do you think the problem is? What do you think the problem is for this team? You see what I mean? He's getting all those questions. Imagine having to answer all those questions every single day as you're losing.
And he's seems like a guy that just wants to show up, have fun, play his game, get some wins. So he seems like a guy who would be worn out
like a fun young player.
Yeah.
He seems like a great young player in the locker room. He seems like a great teammate.
Yeah.
But all in all, through all that, it gets tiring.
Yeah.
When you always got to answer to why we're losing.
What's up, guys? It is that time of the episode. We're going to take a little break so we can give a glove away. If you are not following us or me on Instagram, I post this every week. All you got to do is tag 2 people, follow CTG Sports, follow Rawlings, and then subscribe to the podcast because it's the only place we're going to announce the winner. So I'm clicking on this picture right now. I'm going to the comments. We got 85. Is that how many? 85 comments. I'm going to blindly scroll. Through this. No, I'm not going to cheat, cruise around. I'm scrolling right now, up and down, and I'm going to stop on one. My eyes closed. Here we go. Nader 35. Winner, chicken dinner on a Rawlings glove. Nathan Andel. Congratulations. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you listen every week so you know if you found out if you got a glove or not. That's all it is. Now back to whatever the heck me and David were talking about. Has the New York effect hit anybody harder in history than it hit Joey Gallo?
Nobody that I know.
Man, I love Joey. I love him, by the way. I think he is he's so transparent and down to earth about things. If they're not going good, he's probably the first one to tell you and laugh about it. But man, he went to New York.
God.
And his stats, as far as batting average, always low, strikeout ratio always high. But in the last 5-6 years since he went to New York, I don't know how many years has been unbelievable. I mean, we looking at him this year, 50% strikeout ratio in at bats, pretty close.
I think 58 strikeouts and 109 at bats.
That's
this year.
crazy,
man. That's a lot of.
That's crazy, and he's not doing the type of damage, obviously, at the plate that warrants striking out a lot. So,
Jake.
At what point does a guy like that not have a place to play? How long can that go on? It's gone on a long time.
Jake, I was just sitting here thinking about what it must feel like to hit 160 for a whole season in New York. I wouldn't leave the house. I would tint every one of my cars would be limo tinted. It'd be presidential limo tinted. I'm wearing disguises. I'm not familiar with any restaurants. Uber Eats is my favorite.
That's it.
I'm not. You can't leave the house. I could not imagine the level of booing and the level of shit talking when you hit 160 for a whole year in New York. I got chills when you were just talking, man. Just the thought of it was traumatizing to me. But he did it. Some people ain't made for New York, man. You know what I mean? Nobody was probably happier to get out of New York than Gallo was.
Yeah.
But Jake, you played baseball.
Yeah.
We both know how hard it is to hit 160. It's hard to hit 160.
Yes.
We showing up every day, working on our games. We going to the cage every day. We got the hitting coach down there giving us soft toss, right? We taking extra BP. We doing everything possible.
Yep.
And we still coming away hitting 160.
This is a good lesson for the kids. If you want to hit 160, we say it's hard as in if you are working every day, it's hard to hit that low.
It's hard to hit that low.
Unless you strike out half the time. Then it's not that hard. If you are putting balls in play, you will get lucky. You're going to hit some line drives right at people, but if you're putting balls in play, you're also going to get jammed and hit a flare over the third baseman's head. You're also going to get a swinging bunt. You put the ball in play, it is hard to hit 160.
I wonder, does he need glasses?
He knows. If he doesn't have glasses,
because think about it like
if he doesn't have glasses, he doesn't need them.
Look, the one thing they say about us baseball players is we have great hand-eye coordination. Correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Boy, you can't really say that.
He's got power.
If you have 58 strikeouts and 109 at bats, you don't really have good hand-eye coordination.
No.
Right?
You don't at all.
I don't have an answer for this one, Jake.
I think the problem is his whole career has been that way. High strikeouts, hit some bombs. And that's it. And now eventually
so what
they
you're
go,
saying is when early in his career with Texas, when he hit the 40 home runs a couple of times, I think it was, and had a lot of strikeouts, they lived with it because he was going deep.
Yeah,
but if you're not going deep and striking out, well, they're not living with that.
That's exactly. So here you go, right here. Strikeouts in his third, fourth, fifth, sixth year. Sixth year with Texas. In his third, fourth, fifth, and 6 years with Texas. 196 strikeouts, 41 bombs. 207 Ks, 40 bombs. 114 Ks, 22 bombs. So when he was doing his job,
Is he playing every game? Because he can't be fatigued.
Those first 2 seasons, so 2 years in a row, 2017 and 18 or 18, 19.
How many games he play?
Yeah, 145 and 148.
Yeah, makes sense.
So he's going.
But he's not tired.
No, he's going 41 bombs and 40 bombs with 196 Ks, 207 Ks, and then he hit 209 and 206.
There's not a lot of running. Not a lot of running on the base pass.
He's jogging around him.
Yeah,
and that's
he's
it.
not fatigued.
So that's been his whole career. That's been his whole career.
So he can't say he's fatigued
and
tired.
now it's just starting to. It's been downhill ever since, and a continual downhill trend. And I don't think that a guy like that, pitchers look at it eventually and go, he ain't trying to hit. He's trying to hit a bomb. And if I'm pitching to a guy that strikes out a lot and is trying to hit a bomb, this is going to be an easy work.
How mad are you as a pitcher when you don't want to give up the hit to him?
No, that's like the guy.
You don't want to give up the hit to him.
That's like remember when Davis with the Orioles had like a 56 game hitless streak or something crazy. It was like 60 games he didn't get a hit, I think, or 50 at bats, or it was like 50 at bats.
It's like the flip side when everybody in the lineup got a hit but you.
Yeah,
bro, we playing in Kansas City one night. We are beating the brakes off Kansas City. I'm telling you, beating the brakes off of them.
Mm-hmm.
It might be like 10-2. I'm the only dude in the lineup that doesn't have a hit. Everybody raking. Hey, I get out, walk in the dugout, I just yell to the pitcher, hey, don't worry, I'll be back. You'll get that next hat when I get back. These other 8 dudes coming gonna kill you. But I'll be back in a minute to get that extra out for you.
I'll finish the hitting off for you.
I'm just amazed how you can stay in the big leagues and hit 160. Like, how does your agent? What did your agent tell the next team that you go to?
How do you stay in the big league? How do you stay in the big leagues from 2015 to 2024 with a 195 career batting average?
God,
how do you do that?
Great guy. He must be a great guy. He must be awesome in the clubhouse.
He must be, but that man,
he must be buying all the team dinners. When they go on the road, he inviting everybody out to dinner at the restaurant.
Everybody's coming. Here we go. What's crazy is he's got.
Man, let's leave Joey Gallo.
Yeah,
alone,
I do love him. I think he's the best. I really think. I feel like he'd be saying all the same stuff if he was here.
I think he's the best.
No, I just mean I love him as a guy. I think the way he's handled this whole thing has been awesome.
The whole point of this was it's tough to play in New York, and everyone's not made for New York. And obviously, Joey Gallo was not made for New York.
And has
But there
since
are
not
guys who
recovered.
are made for New York, as
Mhm.
we've talked about. And the Juan Sotos, there's the Jeters. I mean, even our team back in the day, man, everyone was made for New York. I mean,
Yeah.
and what we mean by made for New York, what I'm saying is this. Guys that they know, Jake, that you're expected to bring your A game every day. That's what's expected of you.
Mhm.
We play 162 games. If you win 100 games, it's a good bet you're going to the playoffs.
Yep.
But that means you lost 62,
Mhm.
right? How many games you think George Steinbrenner thought we should lose in a season? Real quick. How many you think?
0.
0. He never wanted you to think that it was ever okay for you to lose a game.
Yeah.
When you set the standard that high, Jake,
Yep.
every day you show up with the mindset that we don't accept any losses.
Mm-hmm.
And you know you got to bring your A game every day. That's a different mentality, Jake.
Yeah.
And that's what guys who are made for New York buy into. They show up for that pressure.
Yeah.
And then when they scuffle, they're not in the media saying, well, my wrist hurt, man. I'm struggling because I hurt my finger the other day, or my back's a little sore. And man, New York people ain't trying to hear that. These people out there working 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day, getting it in Manhattan. Ain't nobody trying to hear these millionaires talk about your wrist hurt.
No.
When you're struggling, you say, yeah, I'm struggling. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to turn it around. Boom. I can respect that. You hustle. You see what I mean? Back in our day, you trying to take out the double play. I live for the opportunity to take out a shortstop or second baseman at second. Live for those moments. Or running over a catcher at home. I live for those moments. But that's that hard-nosed playing, the Paul O'Neills. See, that's that hard-nosed playing, that New Yorkers, they love and respect. And those are the type of players that can play in New York.
Yeah.
They accept the challenge. They know what it is. And they put those pinstripes on. And we look at each other and we say, let's go get it. The Roger Clemens, you know what I mean? That guy's made, you know what I mean? Mariano Rivera. Those guys they're made for New York. But that's not everybody.
No.
George Steinbrenner, he's the one who set that. He set that bar so high. See, and not all teams do that. Not all businesses do that. That's why I tell people all the time, you want to start a business, set your bar here. If you set it here, your workers will come in right here.
Yep.
But if you set it here, they'll come in right here.
Yeah. No matter where you set it, they're coming in just underneath it.
So why not set it at the highest? But now you got to get the right people in that workforce that understand that, okay, well, that's what's expected every day. Yeah. They ain't going to cry about it, ain't going to whine about it, ain't going to bitch about it. We're going to go get that championship.
Yeah.
That's a New York mentality.
Speaking of, we got Lindor. You'd be begging for a trade.
Absolutely.
Are the Blue Jays going to dump off a bunch of guys to trade deadline?
So when I look at the Blue Jays, I look at, okay, we were going to build around young Vladdy Jr. and Bichette. Those are our two main guys we're going to build around. Mm-hmm. But it hasn't materialized, right? Hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And they're in a tough division, with the Yankees, Baltimore.
There's a very, very small chance that
they got no chance. Toronto has no. I like that you giving them a chance, but Toronto has no chance.
Anything's possible. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. But they are going to have to. They would have to turn it around in a way in which they would make everyone in the country tune in to watch them play. Yes. That's how good they'd have to play. So sometimes, Jake, when you try a formula and it's not getting what you think you want or what you need, sometimes you got to just change up the formula.
Yeah.
You just change it up.
The good thing is
you can get a lot from Vladdy. He's young.
That's what I was going to say.
You can get a lot for Bichette. He's young.
Yeah.
There's other young stars out here.
Yeah.
There's other young players out here that may thrive in Toronto. Mm-hmm. As an organization, you can't just keep running the same product out there and getting the same results and not think, hey, you know what? We tried with this. Let's see if we can do something different.
Yeah.
That's all. And it's not, and really, it's not necessarily a knock on Vladdy Jr. or Bichette. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes once again, a change of scenery for them might bring out, that incentive, you know what I mean, to get refocused. But Toronto is in a tough division, man. When you're in there with the Yankees and Boston and Baltimore, you got to play some ball in that division.
Yeah.
And I don't see them making the playoffs this year. So either you keep running it out here and we just gonna have a season, so to speak, or we try to shake it up. And that's what Toronto has to think about. But this season, in my opinion, is done for Toronto. They're not going to do anything this year.
No, now's the time to shake it up. You got young guys that are talented. Get what they're worth. Trade for them.
Yeah.
Figure out where you want to go with it and get what you need out of those guys.
And it'd be mutually beneficial.
That's the thing. I think you let those guys go, and it's good for everybody. It's good for everyone.
That's what I'm saying. It's good for everybody. Gives them a change of scenery.
Because it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad situation. Bellinger thrived with the Dodgers, and it's the same coach, same organization, same everything, and eventually didn't do well. And as good as it might be showing up there, as much as they might love Toronto, showing up every day to the same place when you're struggling, it doesn't really matter.
Jake, I can speak for environments because I played on 4 teams, and it's all about you getting into an organization, a team, and that fits you. See, and that's basically what we're talking about. You look at the Atlanta Braves. I was drafted, came through the minor leagues. A lot of us played in the minor leagues together. We won the Governor's Cup in AAA. We get to the big leagues. We are literally a band of brothers. Like literally, we go back to we call it minor leagues the bushes, where, on the road, you wake up in them hotels where when you open the door, you outside. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where the air conditioning unit is right there against the wall, making all that noise, right?
Yeah.
Right? You don't know what
blowing the curtain up all night.
And across the street is always a Waffle House or a Denny's.
Yes.
And 8 of us are going over there.
Yeah.
But see, that's the bond that we built in the minor leagues. Me, Lemke, Gant. You see what I mean? Like, here we go. And then all of a sudden we get to the big leagues, we still the same dudes from the minor leagues. Except now we're in the show. But the brotherhood is there. And that's one of the things that made us really good with the Braves. But then I go to Cleveland, and I felt like I walked in the Animal House. Cleveland got the music on 10,000. We got a ping pong table in the clubhouse. It was nothing like that with the Braves. Yeah. We had no music on before the game. Yeah. You see? But we talked the game. But no music on, right? Music is only when we win.
Yeah.
Man, all of a sudden I go to Cleveland, we bumping. I mean, we bumping in the clubhouse, right? A whole different vibe, right? But you get in and you fit in, and it was a great bunch of dudes. The Manny Ramirez, the Jim Tomies, the Richie Sexton, my boy Marquise Grissom. I mean, like, such a great bunch of dudes over there, funny guys. Mike Jackson in the bullpen, with that hat real low, throwing that slider every pitch. Jose Mesa. I mean, it was a lot of fun. But then you go to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And then it's like, the music is off again. It ain't Animal House now. It's back to the Braves kind of clubhouse.
Yeah.
It's quiet before the game. It's all business. But we have fun. But it's a different, it's a different mentality, man. We in New York now.
Yeah.
Then I go to Oakland. I go to Oakland. Now I'm coming in as the grand poobah, right? One of the oldest guys on team, leader. And I'm looking at these young boys like they're the young Braves. See, now my role is different. Yeah. So all players thrive in clubhouses that fit their personalities. Yeah. That's why a change of scenery sometimes is always great for a player.
Oh, hey, another break. You thought we were done giving things away? We're not. It's time for Victus. Here's how this one works. Same way the last one worked. You go follow me on Instagram. I post once a week. You comment, you tag 2 people you know. You follow me. You follow the CTG Sports. You follow Victus. You subscribe to the show because this is the only time and place we're announcing the winner. And if you don't watch the show and you don't listen, you'll never know if you won or not. So here we go. Scrolling through the comments, eyes closed as usual. Here we go. We need a winner. Who's it going to be today? Victus stick for Daniel P. Howard. Daniel P. Howard, congratulations. Just won yourself a Victus stick. Appreciate you listening. Hopefully you subscribe to this so that you know you won. If not, too bad, so sad, Jack. Now, one more time, back to whatever the heck me and David were talking about. Yeah, now we are winding this episode. I'm going to go right into Jake's takes because I've got a feeling on everything we've been talking about, and I want to get it out before I forget. So when I coached, I would always tell the parents and the coaches of the real young ones, doesn't actually matter what they learn when they're 5, 6, 7. They need to have fun because you need them to come back. You want them to come back. It can get ruined quick. And then the older you get, I said, the fun never goes away. It just changes, right? It changes to now, you get a little older and now you're 8 or 9. It's like, I'm going to hang out with my friends and play baseball or softball together. That's what we're going to do. And then it starts getting serious and winning becomes a thing. And I don't care how much you love baseball. If you're on a team that continually loses, it's going to wear on you. It's going to wear on your love for the game. But I tell my guys when I coach them, I said, I would just want you to have fun. I want you to have a ton of fun. And I don't mean fun like show up and hang out with my buddies and screw around. I want you to have fun because you are going to be the best player and version of yourself if you're having fun. If you're enjoying it, you're going to be more relaxed. So for me, watching kids especially take the game so serious, like there's always a scout there to watch me when there's not. There's nothing wrong with showing up and having a good time. I watch high school kids that I used to coach out in the middle of nowhere in a travel baseball tournament go 0 for 1 with a K to start the day and act like that's it. I'm never going to get a scholarship. And the next day I go to an Angels game to watch a friend of mine pitch, and it's 10 minutes before the game, and I'm watching 4 guys that I don't even know their last names, which means they're probably 1 0 for 4 day away from getting sent back to triple or double A, and they're dancing. They're having a good time. They're talking to each other, laughing. I'm like, what reason does a guy who has, at the big league minimum, you're probably sitting on $4 to $5 grand a day right now, $5,000 a day, and this was before the minor leaguers got paid a little more. It's like, that guy's either going to make $5,000 a day or $3,000 a month. And he's up here having a great time with that on the line. But I watch a high school kid, a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, have a tough AB and go, oh, and he's so stressed. He can't, come on. Let the kids have fun in the right way, right way. I'm not saying show up, have fun, screw around, who cares? The older you get, winning matters. It's why you're going to go to the next level. A coach is never going to give a kid a scholarship or get drafted and pay you to play for any reason other than you got drafted because the organization that drafted you thought you were going to help them win. They thought this guy will help our big league club win one day. That's why you're there. Nobody's ever given a scholarship to a baseball player and said, he's just a funny guy.
Right.
He's cool. They said, we think he's going to help us win. Might not be first year, might not be second, but we think that guy's going to help us win. So winning becomes fun because it helps the whole team. It helps you as an individual. So I'm big on winning and I'm big on having fun. And even my daughter, 7-year-old, won a championship. And I laughed and I said, this doesn't matter one bit. But then you know what? She wasn't very good. Shoot. She wasn't very good. Yeah, in the long run. This is exactly right. It didn't matter in the long run, in the big picture, but the next day and for the next 6 months, I think we practiced every day because she got a trophy that was about as tall as her, and she was so fired up. And I thought, if you guys didn't win and you got a little medal, you wouldn't have practiced for the past 6 months. So winning has its place everywhere. And
sure.
I encourage all levels to win the right way when it matters, obviously, but have fun. Fun and winning, they end up going hand in hand at some point. And that's my big thing. Have fun because you're going to be the best version of yourself. So it's now memory lane time with you. I know you got stories.
I got a good one today. So spring training with the Braves is the Days Inn. Now, there's a Days Inn at West Palm Beach that's where all the minor, that's where we all stay. We're 2 to a room. Okay, and we young. I was drafted when I was 19. So every year I'm reporting to the Days Inn until I'm like 21, right? Because then I get to go to the big league camp when I was 21 from then on. So I'm 20 years old at this time. And I'm coming off a season, Jake, where I had 22 home runs, 105 RBIs. I hit like 290. I raked an A-ball.
Yeah.
So, look, we in spring training. It's getting toward the last week of spring training. And what people don't realize is the last week of spring training is when they start making the cuts. Like some of my really good friends I had in the minor leagues, here's what they do, Jake. They used to send out Smokey Burgess. Smokey Burgess, we used to call him the Grim Reaper. Because Smokey come out there, hey, Jake, Mr. Aaron want to see you.
I give you guys the old,
that means
see you guys
when
later.
he says Mr. Aaron want to see you, next thing we know, we see Jake walking up the street. You know what I mean? Because they always release guys right when we about to start that morning.
Mm-hmm.
We out there last week, we'd already seen some of our boys get cut, right? Stretching. All of a sudden, here comes Smokey Burgess. Hey, Justice, Mr. Aaron want to see you. What? I look. All the fellas looking at me like, oh, hell no. Ain't no way. Hell no, ain't no way, right? Man, I get up. You know, it's one of them slow walks. Mr. Aaron can't be 100 yards away. I'm walking slow-footed, boy. I'm like, oh, man, why you want to see me? No, I'm in denial. No way I'm getting released, right? So I walk into the office, and Mr. Aaron, we talking about Hank Aaron. Mr. Aaron is sitting on the other side of the desk. He said, David, sit down. I sit down, yeah, Mr. Aaron. He goes, David, what time is curfew at the hotel? I said, 11. He goes, yeah. Why in the hell you come in every night at 10:59? Now, I'm young. I'm 20 years old, right? My answer was, but Mr. Aaron, curfew's at 11, right? I'm in, right? Me and my roomie, Sean Ross, we 20 years old. We out at the beach. Because I'm growing up in Cincinnati with no beaches. Yeah. So I was like addicted to going to the beach. Singer Island, on the little 20-year-old spots they had over there, right? For us youngins, right? We hanging to the last minute. And then I got a Honda Accord. I'm flying through the streets of West Palm Beach, trying to get back to the hotel by 11, right? And we were pulling to the Days Inn parking lot. My boy Sean Ross ran a 6'3", Sean jumped out the passenger seat. He flying up the steps to our room. He kicked the door open, right? Leave open. I'm coming behind him, flying. Dive on the bed, boom. 10:59, dog, we made it. Well, one of our coaches, he saw us one night and told Mr. Aaron, right? So why you always got to come in at 10:59? Well, curfew's at 11. Yeah. Like, we making it,
We're
right?
here.
Man, he said, listen, I want you in at 10:45 now. I love 15 minutes.
Love it.
So I walked back on the field, right? And I was like, fellas, I ain't going home. I'm here, dog. I'm here. They was like, what happened? I told them the story. Oh, man, they fell out.
Loved it.
They fell out laughing, bro.
He said, nothing. I'm still here. I just got a 10:46 curfew now.
I got 10:45, so I had to go relay that message to my boy, Sean Ross, who's outfield. Hey, Sean, we got to come in a little early, dog. We got to cut it short. But if you could have seen us riding through the streets of West Palm Beach in my Honda Accord,
I would have loved to see that.
Bringing it, bro. Running red lights. I'm not every time, not all the time, but a couple red lights. They was pink.
I would have loved
They was yellowish pink.
On their way.
And rolled through there. But if you could see us coming into that Days Inn, I'm on two wheels in that Honda Accord.
I would love that. I would love to see that.
It was one of the greatest memories, man, and one of the funniest times of playing in the I love the minor leagues.
I love that.
And that's one of the funniest times, man. But again, all that brought us together, man. Like our friendships, man, just hanging.
That was very cool. Love that. All right, time for Jake and Justice Get Real. Right. A little substance. You're going first this time.
Today. All right.
Let's see what we got for you. Ooh. What is your most controversial opinion?
My most controversial opinion?
No.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to go.
My
Let me see which one I want to pick.
Controversial opinion. Hey, I got to think about mine. Let me ask you.
Let me
that one right there. I need some thought on that one. Let's do you, and then let me think about that one.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one right there. Here's yours. What's something you wish you would have said to someone?
Something I wish I would have said to somebody. We're going to have to cut this up. I got to think about this for a second, too.
I got mine.
Okay.
You want to wait on yours?
Roll into yours. All right,
we're rolling to a real thing.
Okay.
So we're in spring training. I want to say 1992. And I'm in my locker. And, of course, the media, they come in to talk to us. So a member of the media comes to me. He says, David, do you think there's racism in baseball? Now, mind you, I'm not even thinking about nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm an educated man. Went to college. I have an opinion. And I was at a stage in my career where I thought you had to answer every question that was asked you.
Mm-hmm.
I learned later on you don't always have to answer the question that they ask you. So I sat there and I said, well, baseball is a microcosm of society. So if there's racism in society, I can see how there could probably be racism in baseball. Then I said, because that was back when beepers were around. I said, it's just like beepers. I said, when you see a young white guy with a beeper, you think he's a young doctor or lawyer. But if you see a young black dude with a beeper, you think he's a drug dealer. I'm just answering the question, man. I'm just trying to give you an answer, right? I didn't start this. You came to my locker. Yeah. Man, they had trade justice signs up for me, man, trying to trade me out of Atlanta. I'm like, man, I got to be a little more careful now.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. But that was a controversial thing that I had to catch some heat a little bit from the fans for some reason. No. All because I said, if you see a young white guy with a beeper, you think he's a young doctor or lawyer. You know that's true, too. If you saw a brother back there with a beeper, he's selling something.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you.
He's selling something. Look at Jake.
I ain't arguing with you.
See what I'm saying,
Jake?
See? He's selling something. He ain't no ad boy, ain't no doctor. He ain't no lawyer.
Just
see?
He wouldn't even give you a hat.
That's mine. Now you got to answer yours now. What's yours? What is yours? What's something, I'll give it to you again. Yeah. What's something you wish you would have said to someone?
This is probably a tough one for me, and it's probably why I didn't answer it right away, but I know what it is, and I've known what it is. When I was 19, my brother passed away, and he was older than me, and he was old enough to where we grew up enough together when I was little, but by the time I got to 10, 11, he was out of the house doing his thing. And he was always like the big brother that I'd see at Thanksgiving and would come over here and there, and he'd teach me how to do something, ride a skateboard, or he'd teach me how to shoot a basket, whatever. He'd teach me how to, the right thing. Hey, here's how you do something without mom knowing, like all the big brother fun stuff. And before he passed away, he got really sick, and I was 19 and he was older, and I moved in with him for like 4 months. To half take care of him, half just do whatever. He could do things, but having someone made a big deal for him. So the last thing I said to him was that I loved him, and it just happened to be that way, and I'm thankful for that. But I wish I would have told him thank you. I wish I would have told my brother thank you for just being a big brother, Yeah. To me, again, I feel lucky I had him, and I'm happy that I had the times I had with him, and then really happy to have the last 4 months where we were both older and I got to really know him as a human being. But I just wish I would have said thanks for being a brother, his whole life to me. And I didn't think about that until I got older, but that's one thing probably the thing I wish I would have said to somebody that I didn't say. So,
man, sorry to hear that about you.
Yeah, and it's part of life, it is the way it is. But that to me is, and it's a big reason I am the way I am today and all that. But well, you know how that segment goes now.
You need some Benadryl too.
Yeah, I'm about to write in. I'm gonna write in a question next time that's like, "What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you?" Yeah. Oh man, another good one. We're in the books today.
Yes, sir.
What I do like about this is we talk about things, and then I love circling back and seeing what happens out there. We talked about, is this the new Vladdy? And I'm watching the other day, and he's like, oh, he's 10 for his last 20, raking. I'm like, I like seeing where a guy's at, talking to them, watching things happen. But a lot of good stuff today, as always. Good stories, good baseball content. Love getting real at the end. Again, thank you guys for watching, listening, whatever you are doing it on, whether you're driving to work or sitting at the office watching us. We appreciate it. That's why we do it. So continue to check in with us. We will continue to be pumping out content for you guys. We're having a blast doing it. We hope you're having a blast following us and watching us do it too. So,
and those of you in high school that got a curfew or in college got a curfew, don't come in a minute before curfew. Get in 15 minutes before curfew. All right? Don't do what I did.
Learn something.
And have Mr. Aaron call you in the office. Rest in peace, Mr. Hank Aaron.